Hi everyone, today is another perfume video and we are going to be discussing two scents today. Things that are fairly recently tried by me, things that I really wanted to talk to you about. One of them after trying, had gotten in a full size. And the second one I tried in several sample sizes, so the jury's still out. I feel that Tocca Gia is the one we should start with. I am a big fan of rose normally, so for me it's not unusual to enjoy rose scents, and I always get very excited when I find a rose scent that I think is noteworthy, that I think is worth your attention and worth your dollar. And I think Gia Tocca is actually that type of a smell. It's a rosy citrus or citrusy rose, probably more of a rosy citrus than anything else. And this is the fragrance that I would recommend as an easy, breezy pick. Something that is absolutely not going to turn heads, but also isn't going to be annoying, irritating, or offensive to other people's sensibilities. The fragrance is dubbed as Oriental Floral. I think it's basically a citrus floral, really, if we're talking about it. And I think this is a very, very nice 2019 release. So it's been out for a couple of years now. It has a very perky, happy, and youthful tangerine that is distinguishable. This is not a lemon-based scent. It's not a lime. Specifically, it's something like a sunshine tangerine that is really lifting that scent up. Gives it a lot of fruitiness, a lot of playfulness, a lot of sparkle. There's a little bit of pink pepper in there. However, if you're not a fan of pink pepper, I actually don't want you to panic, or you wouldn't be panicking about it anyway, but I wouldn't want you to discount Tocca, because the pink pepper is more of a suggestion of a note than an actual hardcore note. Mostly the pink pepper here isn't going to appear peppery. It just gives the tangerine that much more of a kick, just a bit of a kick, and accentuates that playfulness. The tangerine is very, very sweet. Once the top fruity, citrusy notes are sort of mellowed down and worn off, you get a lot of very classic, pretty basic Turkish rose. Basic not in a bad way, basic in a good way, because basic rose is actually quite pleasant and wonderful, and most of the time that's what we're looking for when we're looking for rose. So very baseline rose, and the fruitiness is the counterpart of it. It does wear off with time. It doesn't last the entire duration of the fragrance, but the rose really definitely stays strong. Now, the part of it that makes it so likable and so easy to use, and for me, giftable, because I think it's very difficult to find people who are not going to like this particular scent. This has lots and lots of vanilla at the base. If you are a lover of rosy vanilla, this is going to be a very nice pick. Even if you're not a big fan of fruitiness, it will wear off and it's not annoying. It's really rather nice here. The vanilla is strong, it's powerful, it's very prominent at the base, and the longer you wear the fragrance, the more vanilla you get and the less of the fresher notes. Here, vanilla is densified and accented by sandalwood and amber. Amber is probably the least pronounced base note that I feel is there. Mostly the very, very, very vanillic sandalwood, which holds the fragrance together and gives it a bit of an anchoring. It appears to be a daytime scent, really. I mean, whatever, you can wear the scent whenever you like, and if you like that for nighttime, go for it. But really, for me, this is a lightweight daytime scent, and I would wear it exactly in the same way as I would wear Chloe Eau de Parfum. Everybody knows what that smells like. So if you enjoy that type of a scent, but you maybe want something slightly less fresh, but more and more vanillic and sandalwoody, a little bit more dense, a little bit more substantial, then Gia is a good choice. Again, obviously, any season you can wear whatever fragrance you like. It's fine as long as you're not suffocating others around you. It's up to you when you wear which scent. This one really appears to be more of a spring and summer scent. probably more of a spring scent because there is such a big burst of sunshine tangerine. I find that in the spring, as we're coming out of the winter, of the grogginess of winter, of this dampened feeling of winter, we tend, well, at least me, I should speak for myself, not for everyone else, but I do tend to crave more of a sunshiny, happy anticipation of summer florals. That's kind of where I go normally during springtime in my scent wardrobe. So that fragrance would really fit in well. However, the pretty thing about this one is that it does have that sandalwood and vanilla in the base, which are really warm. They are cozy, they are warm. They're going to be slightly more warming than a more straightforward floral, which I love during spring for sure. If you want a little bit more coziness and for your floral to be also sweet, I think Tocca is going to be a good choice. So obviously, I have it on my dorsal hand so that I'm smelling it as I'm describing it. If you are a fan of Victoria's Secret fragrances, this one does remind me a lot of the original Victoria's Secret Bombshell. Perfume, it was so just widely spread. I think I was in high school when everybody was wearing it, and I really remember the scent being very, very similar to Gia. So if you have nostalgia vibes and you're at the age where you wore something like Bath and Body Works or Victoria's Secret in high school or something like that, and you did like Bombshell and you want to step it up to maybe a slightly upgraded version of that scent, and that's kind of your jam, you will find Gia to be satisfactory in this way. Both sillage and longevity are light to medium, so it's not going to be a fragrance that is going to be very, very dense, but it is making it more wearable. Honestly, the wearability of this type of scent is very, very high. It's easy to integrate into your scent wardrobe, and if you're not sure and if you're rocky with your fragrance choices, this is going to be a safe one. This is going to be a very, very safe choice. It wears off in maybe about 4, maximum 5 hours after a good, decent application. So it's up to you whether that is worth it to you or whether that's a little bit too short-lived. So as a summary, sweet, girlish, rosy, pinkish smelling perfume, quite agreeable, very easy to wear, can be somebody's workhorse, kind of nondescript, a little bit forgettable, not very remarkable, but super pleasant. I like this category of fragrances because you don't necessarily have to scream to the world with your scent, but this is something that people aren't going to dislike. This is something that is going to be a very appropriate scent anywhere. If you're trying to go for maybe something a little bit more serious or corporate, that's not your jam. This is more of a airheaded young woman who has a head full of dreams and a pocket full of rye, and she probably doesn't she doesn't have much achievement. She loves bullet journaling and drawing flowers between book pages. That's the sort of chick we're talking about here. Obviously, again, I do believe that anybody can wear any fragrance regardless of the sex that it's labeled with. This one is, if we're talking about the spectrum, is very feminine. So not one of the scents that would be considered in any way whatsoever unisex. Of course, if you love it and if you're a dude, wear it, go for it. But if you're looking for something that can pass for unisex, this one won't. This is going to be jazz hands glitter sort of fragrance. I like it. It's a cute, fruity floral. The citrus and the pepper are my favorite parts of that scent, and I think if they were more prominent and more long-lived, not just an accent when you apply the fragrance, but they would survive hours on skin versus, 20 minutes maybe. I think it would be much better because those are the notes that really edged out some interesting dimensions of the fragrance. So I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that the initial application wasn't how the scent stayed, because I really enjoyed the initial application. And also to warn you, initial application is far more interesting and diversified than the actual wear scent into a few hours of your timeline for the day. Who can hate that? Who can hate a rosy vanilla? The second player in this video is Molinard Violet. It's a scent that I've had in a small size and I liked enough to order a full bottle. It's been about maybe a month and a half since I ordered it, and I've already definitely dented the fragrance. I really like wearing it. This one does require a bit of a settle down time, but it is a very, very pretty scent. Now let's get to the actual discussion. First of all, in terms of packaging, I do like the packaging. It's very pretty. I think very classic, not anything super special. So basic packaging, I like the color. This is an Eau de Parfum. I got it in a 75 ml format. I think I'll be getting through it with no problem. The category of fragrances that this one belongs to is a fruity, powdery scent. And basically, if you're going to dissect it into parts and then take the biggest chunks of which notes are dominating, it's going to be violet and a fruit of some sort. For me, this is an apple. It's an apple violet sort of scent. Now, you may say, listen, didn't you say that you really did not enjoy the new Meteorites release from Guerlain? Didn't you say you didn't think it was good? Didn't you give it away to someone? Isn't it also based on violets and apples? Yes, 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 and yes. That's very true. This scent is very much reminiscent of the Meteorites, the perfume at the Parfum that was most recently released by Guerlain, which I hated. First of all, the quality of the fragrance is way, way better. Secondly, the proportions of the notes are much more palatable. I was obviously, as always, if you know my channel, you know I love powdery scents, and specifically vintage powder violet kind of scents. The scent of Guerlain Meteorites, the actual little pearls, is probably one of my favorite scents in the world, and I'm always looking for something to emulate it as closely as possible. So far, I have a few scents that kind of give me the vibe that I'm looking for. And so I wanted to try Violette, and I like it. I liked it enough to purchase a full size of the bottle, and I liked it enough that although it doesn't actually remind me of the scent of Meteorites, which is what I was testing it for, it still is quite lovely and likable to the point where I wanted to own it and I wanted to wear it. I wanted to give it a very thorough tryout. And so here it is. So if you like the Meteorites Parfum from Guerlain, the new one, not the old school one, which I'm only dreaming about getting, the new one. I can't handle the situation which I was put in when it was released. It was a huge disappointment for me personally. Some people really like it. I found that longevity on that Meteorites fragrance was terrible, just awful. It basically had none. It was like a body spray, maybe eau de toilette longevity and sillage. It was just very, very disappointing and mostly fruity. Now here, the longevity of this little guy is moderate. It is a very delicate, very lacy sort of scent. Sillage ranges from light to medium, so this is not a sillage monster. If you like a sillage monster, you probably won't find it here unless you really overspray. The scent is very agreeable and is unlikely to draw negative attention towards itself because it doesn't have anything weighty, dense, or suffocating in it, really. There is powderiness here for sure. It's going to be weirdly described by me as a fruity powder, which is odd, but this is exactly where I'm going with this. Theoretically, this is a unisex scent. Obviously, again, I think it leans way more feminine if you are interested in assessing that spectrum. However, this way more so than Tocca is going to be more wearable for men as well. It's on the girly side, but the right kind of dude definitely can pull it off without any questions asked. This launched in 2016, so it's not a new to the market find for me, but a very worthwhile one. Violet rules here. It does stay the whole duration of the fragrance, although it transitions from sweet violets more into a powdery side of things, which I do like. I think this is a very well constructed violet that is pleasant yet long wearing, as long wearing as a non-baby powder can be. The mix of green apple and black currant is really giving it that slight bit of playfulness, that little spark and sparkle, the little mischievousness to the very, very classic, very laid back and romantic violet. So there is a little bit of playfulness there. It will put a smile on people's faces just because of this very unexpected combination of fruity youthfulness with the sophisticated gentle powderiness. The base is constructed of violet leaf and white musk. I think there's iris. I have trouble saying whether there is iris and violet leaf or just iris, but the manufacturer touts violet leaf in there as well. I don't think it matters particularly. It is that slightly bitter greenish base. I would probably, if blindfolded, would call it a very gentle, lightweight iris. There are some other secondary notes, but they are far less prevalent, so we will skip those. It is a lighter weight, more wearable sister of Insolence by Guerlain. So if you're a fan of that and you want something a little bit fun and winky, then try Violette. It's pretty good. It's a very likable spring and summer scent. Again, this one is a little bit more summer to me. It goes for daytime, but obviously, again, wear it whenever you want to. Up to you. However, I do like to present those little categories like the sillage, the longevity, the time of the year, the season, daytime versus nighttime, because it gives you an idea of where the spirit of the fragrance is really leaning. That doesn't mean I'm telling you to wear them at that time. I'm just trying to convey through the camera a scent, which is not easy to do. If you're looking for a violet soliflor, you will not find this here at all. If you're looking for a meteorites kind of scent, you will not find this here either. That's what I was looking for initially, but I did like it enough to still purchase it regardless. Although initially it was a little bit of a letdown because that's kind of where I was hoping that the sample sizer was going to take me. I don't think this is too sweet or too sticky or cloying in any way. I think it's very, very smooth. I do think there is definitely a fruity sweetness to it, but it's really balanced with tartness. Here's where the green apple is coming in. It's a little sour. So it's an odd little combo of sourness and violet powder. But it's not an unpleasant one. It is something that is balanced fairly well. You do get a little, very, very slight touch of green notes in here, but that pops up after maybe half an hour of wear and is very, very gentle and laid back. It does not overpower the scent. It does not give it a bitter flavor per se. Longevity is kind of medium, several hours. You definitely will get out of it. And the throw isn't large. So if you're looking to project, this is not going to be yo girl. You're going to have to look elsewhere. If you're looking for a fresh petal, romantic violet, this is not going to be a good pick for you. If you like a twist on a violet that is quite fruity, I think would be worthwhile checking out. Or I would say the scent is purple, but if we're going to critique the bottle slightly, it's not as purple as the bottle might suggest. It's not as deep and broody and moody and romantic as the bottle might suggest, as the color of the bottle might suggest. I would say it's probably more closer to lavender than it is to the deep purple. However, obviously, although this is not my dream violet scent, it still is very much worth it for me. So let's imagine the character wearing this particular scent. I do think that this is more of a young fashionista who aspires to be a fashion journal editor or maybe an Instagrammer. This would be someone with a very lighthearted approach to life, someone who's not very serious, someone who's full of joie de vivre, someone with maybe a mindset of a millennial where we tend to focus on the quality of life and the things that we want to experience rather than the things that we want to have. So really very much that. I don't think it's a deep or philosophical fragrance. I don't think it tells a story. I don't think it is something that is going to make your head spin. I don't think it's a fragrance that you necessarily will absolutely fall in love with, but it is a very decent fruity violet if that's what you're into. I didn't have a fruity violet in my fragrance wardrobe, so I acquired it and I'll be wearing it in the spring. As I said, this seems to be befitting for me for spring. Whether this is something that would be repurchasable in the future, I doubt it. I think this is one of those things that I like the genre of the scent, but I'm not so attached to it that I would want to use it up and have it again. If my description of the scent sparks your interest, obviously try everything, because on different skin types it will sit differently. For me, it's quite a sour scent. Perhaps on a very oily skin it would be less so or more so. I'm not sure. So both of the scents aren't an absolute must-haves, crazy poetic fragrances that I hold so close to my heart. These are more workhorse, easy to wear, easy to pull off, non-committal, easy to get along with kind of scents, which makes them a good buy for someone who is a little bit maybe uncertain, knows the vibe of the scent that they're going for, but perhaps they aren't looking for poetry and philosophy out of their scents. Perhaps they just want to smell nice. Those two fragrances would definitely help with that. Have you owned either of these scents? If so, what did you think of them? Do you agree with my descriptions? Do you think that I'm missing something? Write it down below. Let's talk about it. If not, what kind of violet and what kind of a sweet rose do you like the best? You can also leave down below the recommendations for others so that we can all share and find out maybe about more of the fragrances of this type. And that's it for today. See you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Good luck. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. It's very important to do so now. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.